The Packers will have a first and goal. Receiver to the right, Jimmy Graham. Rodgers, quick toss in the flat, left side, got his man for the end zone, and a touchdown.
First and Goal podcast on Spreaker.com. And we're now on all your favorite platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify, CastBox, Google Podcasts, Tumblr, YouTube, and SoundCloud. You can always follow us on Twitter at First and Goal Pod and our Facebook page, facebook.com/First and Goal Pod 33.
Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Every day I'm 3, 2, 1.
And welcome, everybody, to another live edition of First and Goal with me, your founder and producer, Jay in the UP. And as always, down in Georgia, it's your host with the most, Dave.
Hello, First and Goalers. It is a pleasure to be on and to let you hear us ramble about football.
Football rambling and rambling about football, and I will not become Colonel Sanders.
Mom always said I was a rambling man.
Okay. Mama said I was a Rolling Stone.
No, you were. You rolled right into bed a couple hours ago.
Yes, I did. I had to take a nap, man. I was tired, okay? I had to fight with scaffolding all day, and it only goes up one way. And, of course, it was the third time I had take it out, put it down, that it was the right way. So, yeah, my back's freaking killing me.
Third time's a charm.
Not how things were supposed to go today.
Yeah, well, you can't change how things are going to go sometimes, man.
Okay, let's get right into it. News updates.
News updates. Well, we don't have Agent Busby with us here tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and drop a little bit of fantasy files. Sam Darnold will be out this coming game against the Jets.
I want to know who's responsible for kissing him and getting him sick. That person should be found and beaten. Severely.
I have a theory. I think Bill Belichick got Demaryius Thomas sick with mono and sent him into the Jets organization, and now Darnold is sick.
Oh, sabotage. It was worth the 6th round
Sabotage, yes.
Hey, it's a 6th round pick for a sick wide receiver.
You mean yeah, but technically you're getting a sick QB that's sitting out, and they got to start Trevor Siemian now.
So, jeez.
I call him the Siemian monkey. It's called the carrier monkey.
All right. Moving on.
Another big rumor that came out today, and it was not really a rumor because of a certain player eyeing a couple teams out there, and it is none other than former wide receiver Dez Bryant, and he is ready to go, ready to sign with someone. He's looking at certain teams. Well, there's 4 teams that came to mind right away as soon as he was talking to the reporter that broke this story, and it was Miss Anderson from ESPN, Miss Josina Anderson, and he said that he was interested in 4 teams. The 2 main ones was the Saints and the Packers. And it kind of surprises me because last year we showed interest in Dez, and he didn't want nothing to do with us. But what I think is the factor, Jay, I went and looked over these 4 teams. Each of them play the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I think, too, that maybe there is something to be said about a veteran wide receiver that doesn't have the ability to always, I'm not saying never, but always separate by himself one-on-one. going to an offense that clearly predicates people always having to win their one-on-one matchup. And now he's in an offense where they stack, they motion, they're double action. They're creating opportunities for guys to be open by creating openings for guys in the coverage, therefore making it easier for everybody involved, not just the quarterback, but everybody on the offense. The way all the rest of the offenses have been doing this for like 4 or 5 years now, the Packers are finally in the modern era of football. Thank God. And hey, I'm not saying it's looking pretty yet, but for the love of God, I said it last night. If you didn't listen, go back and listen to last night. And if you didn't listen the last 2 nights, go back and listen to the last 2 nights, starting 2 nights ago with Andy Herman, then last night with the Heart and Skull podcast and JB. You got to go back and listen to it.
I think they understand you said it a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, it's running the ball, just being committed to it, even if it isn't working. And it didn't work. But then you have to respect play action, and play action gives you the big play, which opens up the rest of the offense. So just being committed to the run and the process of the offense in Green Bay is completely new. And it doesn't always going to look pretty, but there is benefits to it, if you know what I mean, Dave.
I mean, there is, but I mean, with what you just said, I got to ask. If they offered Dez Bryant a fair deal to where he feels he was getting some money in his pocket and the Packers weren't taking a hit, would you do it for a 1-year deal?
Yes, at this point I would, because here's why. I feel like Dez Bryant, not with the injury last year and then everything that happened the year before, I feel like he took time off and isn't coming back because, A, I think he finally feels healthier than he has in a few years. B, I believe a lot of the stuff with Dez, I think you're getting a more mature guy at the end of his career. And I don't think at this point he's going to try to be a number one, especially if he's going to go to Green Bay, because he's going to know that, Adams is
the number one, clear, yeah.
And so I think at this point, honestly, all I would expect out of Dez is that the last 2-3 years of Anquan Bolden. Because he is that
and
body
that's the
type.
thing, you could put him in the slot.
You have a big physical slot receiver that can give you those 50-50 balls. He's almost like having a second tight end.
He'd be a perfect slant receiver right out of the slot because he has that big body to catch 5-6 yard passes right out of the gate.
I know he does have some drop issues. I'm not pretending like that wasn't an
Those
issue
are deep balls. Those not slant passes. We're good.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm covering up all the issues he's had in the past. I think on a 1-year flyer at this point, I would give it a shot. And I'm not saying it's because I don't like the receiving core, because then I do like our receiving core. But this is an opportunity that if he can come in and contribute the way that I think he would be able to contribute, it really puts your offense over the top, so to speak. It really gives you another premier weapon to move around and open things up for everybody else, instead of just having to deal with Devontae and hoping that other guys can step up and stay healthy. And it takes pressure off of NVS to develop faster, too. I think it's good all around if they can make this move, and they can get the kind of production I'm hoping they could get out of him.
Well, the thing is, I also look at it as like a veteran leadership, what he brings to the locker room and unifying that wide receiver room. That's my biggest thing is, yes, on the field, we know what he can do. But the thing is, with him being mature, like you said, I think a locker room presence and getting these young kids' minds a little more into the playbooks, a little more into the routes. Like, I really do think that it would be a big benefit. I'm all for it. I think Dez, he held low grudge to Green Bay because
too that I kind of like. I think right now with the way
he has that because he wants to play Dallas. That's the thing. He wants to play Dallas and show that they let go a good wide receiver, that he still had something left in the tank, and he wants to prove that.
Well, honestly, though, if that's his only motivation, that would scare me, because then post-Dallas game, you're getting the non-motivated guy. I think he's motivated overall to just come back and play. and win a ring. And I think that's why he's trying to pick some teams that have some decent quarterbacks and some opportunities.
Some chances to kind of make a deep run because they,
right.
I mean, you look at it, the 4 teams that he mentioned, I know Saints and Packers were 2. I can't remember the other 2, but I mean, the other 2 still, one was the Panthers, and I believe the other one was the Ravens. They all were trajecting arrows of up. Every one of them was up. The only one I kind of felt iffy about was Carolina, but Des would offer another weapon for Cam to use
I don't know.
on top of leaning on McCaffrey.
Impressive tonight, Carolina and Tampa Bay. They look like a couple of teams
but
led by
if you
quarterbacks.
give Carolina a weapon like Des, what I'm saying is adding in Des with Curtis Samuel and Greg Olsen and Christian McCaffrey, it would make it more diverse. I'm not saying it would send them over the moon, but the Ravens are already producing with Hollywood Brown, and Lamar looked really damn good on Sunday. I mean, then you add in Des there, along with the tight ends they got, and then the Packers, you put them in the slot between Adams and MVS, and then the Saints, you would put him either on the outside across from Michael Thomas or in the slot and use him as like a possession receiver for Brees. So there's 3 out of 4 teams that are trajecting arrows of up, and they all play Dallas.
Well, yeah, okay. All right, I'll give you that. I do.
Yeah,
like
he wants a ring. I fully agree. I fully agree he wants a ring. And I have no problem with him wanting that because of the fact he has put up with so many dark days in Dallas. I mean, he's been on the wrong end a lot of games where, what was it? The Dallas Cowboys game where Matt Flynn was playing and they were down 21 points and they came back to win that damn thing. And he was on the wrong end of that. The NFC Championship game in 2014. And then it's just like it's one of the divisional game. Sorry, guys. Yeah, the 2014 divisional game. And then you go to the 2016 divisional game. I mean, and then you go to the it's just the list goes on and on for him. He's had a lot of dark days, especially in the Green Bay. And just those examples that he could never really get over the hump with Dallas with Tony Romo or Dak. So what I think he wants is a quarterback that he knows that can get it done. Cam did get to a Super Bowl, so he knows that he can at least get him there. Rodgers been there, done that. Brees been there, done that. And Lamar is the biggest question mark. I mean, no one kind of knows the step he's going to take this year. We've seen one game, but that's one game. So against a really bad Miami team. I'm not saying he's not legit. Just let's wait till week 2. But I still think he'd be a good weapon for the Ravens nonetheless.
Well, and speaking of Cam Newton, I'm going to tell you right now, watching this game and watching him throw the deep ball, that arm ain't what it used to be. It ain't.
It's because it ain't healed right. He gave it time to heal. He rushed back.
It doesn't look good for Cam Newton the way it's going, man. It just doesn't. I was never high on him as developing into the type of quarterback that everybody said he could be because I just never saw it. Even that MVP year, people did not give his offensive coordinator. They made Ted Ginn Jr. look like a premier wide receiver, but there's never anybody 10 to 15 yards around him because of the way that offense and play action and all that they did. And he scored like 18-plus rushing touchdowns that year, too. I knew it wasn't sustainable. Everybody was overhyping him. He was still like a 59% completion quarterback at the time.
I don't even think it's his shoulder. I have another theory, actually.
What? I want to hear this now. You can't say shit like that. And then
my theory, I had to bait you in. My theory, I think Von Miller and DeMarcus Lawrence in the Super Bowl 3 years ago, when they played against the Broncos, they beat the living crap out of him in that game. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm losing it tonight. My apologies. Big Bear's running on a little less sleep than usual, so I'm sorry. Yes, a little bit of DeMarcus Ware. Thank you for correcting me, Jay.
After my nap there, sir.
Yeah, I know. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you. You're carrying me. But anyways, DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller, they mentally broke this dude. They went ahead and They beat the crap out of him in the Super Bowl. And then what does the NFL do? They put him